Well, here we are once again. Welcome back to another reading from that wonderful publication, The Science of Mind magazine. And of course, the parts of it that we always read from, the daily guides. How about that? Sometimes I never know exactly how to open these sessions. Should I be more spiritual? Should I be less spiritual? Should I just be as we are? But I'll tell you what. Taking a breath is always a spiritual experience. So let's take a deep breath. And let it out slowly. And if you're in a position to, just put everything at one side. Sometimes you can't do that. I listen to things like this when I'm at the gym, which means I cannot actually I'm getting interrupted by phone calls here. Something tells me I may have actually missed something, but I don't know. We'll see. I apologize that this is a little bit disrupted. I'm trying to handle two things at once here. I got a call coming in, which probably should answer it, but I'm going to ignore it for now. I'm going to let Spirit handle the call. Today's reading is another one from Reverend Ryan. I'm going to read the reading and then I'm going to come back and make some observations on it. So here we go. The first quote from What You See Is What You Get is, the quality of our lives is not measured by the amount of time that we spend in a state of perfection. And that was Emily Nagoski, PhD. Let me see. I think I looked up the wrong person here. But anyway, there we go. What you see is what you get. There is a perfect pattern, and we believe in it. And the perfect pattern is where we are. No, I read this yesterday, didn't I? I think I'm off base here completely. I do believe I'm completely off base. The reading I should be reading is called Loving Our Bodies. I'll go back and correct the rest of it afterwards. The first reading, which I read, and I don't know why I flipped back to yesterday. Anyway, here we are. We're all human, right? Radical self-love demands that we see ourselves and others in the fullness of our complexities. Radical self-love demands that we see ourselves and others in the fullness of our complexities. And that was Sonia Renee Taylor. And she is an American best-selling author, activist, thought leader, spoken word artist, founder of The Body Is Not an Apology global movement, and much more. Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind, Love and Law book, Love and Law, on page 146, paragraph 1 says, every living soul is a point of personified God consciousness, immutable, allness power now. You are not approaching the point, but you are that point now. Okay, I'm going to unpack this in a little bit because it needs a little bit of unpacking. Making friends with and loving our bodies is a wild and radical journey. We're inundated every day with images of the supposed ideal body, what it should look like, feel like, be able to do, and the list is endless. What if we take the radical path and decide to love the body we have at this very moment? What if we choose to look at our bodies and all the bodily things it does with the eyes of wonder, curiosity, and yes, love? Reverend Ryan says, for me, the more I try to strive for some ideal, the more distance I place between the truth and myself. The truth is that my body here and now is perfect. It allows me to navigate life, and it serves the only way the divine can express itself in form. The divine decided that a me was a perfect home in which it would live and move. And you know what? It decided the same thing for you. Your physical body, right here, right now, is the home of the very spirit that holds the universe together, the very spirit that spins the planets in their orbits, the presence that gives life to all things. What's not to love about that? The more we can see our bodies through these eyes, the more we can fall in love with them, whether all over again or for the very first time. Loving our bodies then becomes the greatest of adventures. So what do I say about all this? What do I think? What do I feel about all this? Well, I think for now, I need to put aside any issues that I've got with my body. You know, not almost everybody has got some kind of issue with their body, but I don't think that's what she's talking about here. You know, I've had skin issues and I've got a medication that's supposed to help me with my skin issues. So maybe the way I should look at that is, let me just go back. I don't know where I am. Hold on a second. Maybe the way I should look at that is that I love myself in spite of these things going on. Why are these things going on? Why are some people suffering from lots of bodily ailments? Why do some people not suffer from any? Well, as you know, there's lots and lots and lots of reasons. There's things like heredity or genetic structure, the way we've treated our bodies up to now. Do we exercise? Do we not exercise? What kind of diet do we have? Etc., etc. I think what she's talking about here is accepting the shape of our bodies the way they are. You know, I see on television now that more and more people are saying and showing that there isn't this one perfect ideal of a female form or a male form, that we are all different. And there's a myriad of ways in which we can appear. So it's kind of a balancing act. You know, someone who is way, way overweight, and some of you, you know, maybe, and some of you are thin, kind of like me, you know. And is it a matter of luck or what? Or is it a combination of luck and how we've exercised, etc.? I think what we do is, and if I'm reading Reverend Ryan correctly, we accept ourselves as we are right now. We accept ourselves as we are right now, and we move on from there. And then we use that as a basis. So for instance, you know, my wife thinks she's a few kilos overweight. Is she? I don't know, really. Yeah, she's a few kilos more than when I met her. But if she can accept her body as it is, just like that, and move on from there, it's good. And if you go on a diet, if you go on exercise programs to change your body, you can love what you're doing. So I think, to me, the whole answer is this. It's to accept ourselves as we are right now. Not to accept any physical problems we got, but to know beyond that, to know that we can accept ourselves as a person. However our body appears, we can accept ourselves as a person. We can accept our bodies as they are right now, and then we can make the decision, do we want to keep them like that, or do we want to change it? Do we move on? And I'm excluding all things like illness and all the rest of it, because I think that's a different subject. And I think that's a deeper subject. For somebody who's in real major physical discomfort, to accept their body as it is right now is a much more difficult task than it is for somebody to accept the body that's a little bit overweight, for instance. When we say that we're perfect the way we are, we're talking about at the divine level. Within me, within you, within everything, every being, everything that lives is the perfection of all that is the soul, whatever you want to call it, the expression of God, the higher self. It's just the way it is. So I have a problem really with being in a position maybe to put people in a position of guilt if they're not happy with what they have right now, because I think it's human. It's human to say, hey, I don't like the way I am right now, and I'm going to change it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I think what you can say is, okay, I accept the way I am right now. However, I'm going to change it. I'm going to move on from this, and I'm going to change it to be something different. But right now, this is how I am. Right in this second, there's nothing I can do about it. Is this a good explanation? Probably not, but it's the best one I've got right now, is to say, I choose to love and honor the body I have right now. So let's kind of move around that and say, the body I have right now, whether it's too heavy, too light, just right, too tall, too short, too fat, too thin, whatever it is, right in this very moment, I accept my body the way it is. And if I choose to move on from there and change it, that's also a good thing. So that's really the best I got to offer, because personally, I struggle with a lot of this right now. And I mean, with the accepting of the idea, that is. So maybe not a satisfactory explanation. I've got to come back and think about it. I pre-read the reading. I'm really not much farther down the path than I was when I started. But if it's any consolation that I'm a minister and I struggle with this, then hey, I hope that helps as well. I choose to love and honor the body I have right now. Remember, Reverend Lisa will be on tomorrow morning. She will be reading once again from the Science of Mind textbook. The Science of Mind textbook can sometimes be pretty dry. And when you've got to read from it, it's kind of hard to make it not dry. But there's a lot of good information in there. And if you can get beyond Ernest Holmes', stilted language in here, and some people don't think it is, but I do. I think it's awkward language a lot of the time. If you can get beyond that, sometimes it's convoluted. If you can get beyond that and listen to it, there's a lot of really good stuff in there, because otherwise I wouldn't have become a minister of Science of Mind had I not really thought that there's a lot of good stuff in here. And there are easier books to read, I think. How to use the Science of Mind, live in the Science of Mind. To me, they're much easier books to read. So, who knows? Well, this has been kind of one of those readings. I can't say I'm 100% happy with it, but hey, it is what it is. And know this, that the light of the one surrounds us, and the love of the one enfolds us, and the power of the one protects us, and the presence of the one is always watching over us, because everywhere we are, the divine is, and all is well. So until next time, namaste.